everyone, welcome to a new episode of Cine Pimenta Geek. And today I'm here with Akinola Davies Jr.,
Yes.
one of the directors of one of the movies here in the Mostra. And I'm very glad to be able to talk with you today. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, one of the things that I was really impacted by was the way that you chose to tell this story. Because as we see like this story, we see some flashes of like different moments,
Yes.
you know, and I really enjoyed that non-linear approach.
Sure.
So when was the time that you thought like, oh, this is the way that I want to tell this story?
Sure. Really good question. And thank you for having me, by the way. I think quite early on, during the writing process, we were trying to identify the themes of the film. And I think the themes of the film were always going to be a guide to how I would eventually tell the story. And when I say we, I mean me and my brother who wrote the film. I think in the script form, there are non-linear moments, and we would always question why we would do that. I think one reason is that the film deals with memory on the whole, and memory during a period of grief, especially during a period of grief, is quite hard to trust. Especially as children, how do children process grief? How do they remember that memory? The catalyst for the whole story was our father passed when we were really young, and we had this one shared memory of him, which we put right at the beginning of the film, in the moment where a father's playing with his children on the bed, and we both have the same memory, but we don't know if it was something that really happened, or someone told us, or our mother told us, or we made it up, or our siblings told us. So in the fact that we can't trust this memory, what we do trust is that the fact that that memory belongs to us, and it's something that we feel a sense of ownership of. So what we wanted to do with the film is do something equally in creating a memory that's going to belong to the boys no matter what. And I think the sort of story, you know, foreshadowing and coming back and forth felt like a homage to African cinema, like traditional African cinema, and storytelling as well. And equally, fragments, you know, memory is represented as fragments in this film. And I think, yeah, those are a lot of the themes we played through. But I also have to thank our editor, a Mexican editor from Latin America, Omar Guzman, who's a fantastic scientist. A lot of the way he interpreted the script and the footage was to double down into this idea of it feeling non-linear. And I think he is one of the unsung heroes of the film.
That's so cool, and it also feels like we're watching like an actual like film that maybe we might have found in like an old in a camera.
Oh wow,
or something.
amazing!
So I think that was very cool. Like,
thank you.
Also, this aspect of it. So, and there's quite a bit of suspense too, because as I was watching the film, I always had the sense of that something was going to happen, something terrible to the characters.
Sure.
And I think that it's good because I really cared for them. You know?
Yeah.
So did you have this in mind, like this suspense, to create the suspense in the audience?
Yes, in a way. I think with the two characters being the boys, being their first day to Lagos, you don't really know what you're going to expect in your first day traveling to a city that you've heard so much about. So we wanted to keep the suspense for good and bad, like a joyful suspense and also a scary suspense. And I think the scary aspect comes from more the fact that they're children and there's a sense of the unknown. And I think equally, as a child, every emotion feels so much weighted, you know? I was watching a video the other day of a girl at a dinner, and someone is lighting like a pastry on fire, and she was like terrified, you know? And I think as an adult, you've seen that 100 times before, but as a child, your first contact is really scary. And I think, you know, people would always ask me like, what genre is the film? And I think being able to build from the foundation of a child's perspective allows you to play with every genre, allows you to play with coming of age, allows you to play with a thriller, allows you to play with a little bit of horror, allows you to play with the supernatural, allows you to play with the romance of the city and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I think a lot of that really sort of played into it for sure.
That's quite amazing. And you brought up the boys.
Yes.
They're very amazing actors.
Yes, thank you.
How was the process of directing them, casting them? How would you describe it?
Sure. I mean, it was really lucky, I have to admit. I'd found two boys previously when I'd gone for a big search, boarding schools in Nigeria, churches, acting schools, like across the south west of the country. And then we planned to do a 2-day workshop. I had also done an acting workshop a year before to try and understand how to speak to actors. And that workshop was all about play. Everything is just playful. So I got my acting coach to come and lead the workshop, along with our casting director, Shaheen Baig and Kemi Lala. And the two boys I initially found, we needed more boys to fill the workshop. So we did we got some self-tapes, and Godwin and Marvelous, who were in the film, sent their self-tapes, and they were very weird self-tapes. So I was like, let's bring these weirdos, they'll be cool. So on the first day, the two boys I initially thought they were a lot more uninterested in the film. And basically, we saw that Godwin and Marvelous were very tactile, very encouraging, very supportive of each other and other children. It turns out their mother is an actor and a screenwriter, so they really remembered dialogue, and they were able to help the other children. And I think once everybody knew they were real brothers, there was a real excitement that they should be the ones. And I also have to say Shokwe Dirisu really helped, the lead. He was amazing with being a father to them on screen and off screen, because they spent so much time together. And equally, I'm also aware of my weaknesses, and it being my first film, it being their first film, it being my cinematographer's first film, and my brother as a writer's first film, I really wanted them to learn from it. I didn't want it to be as an experiment for me as it is for them. I want them to have a career after this. So we ensured that we had acting coaches come and work with them off camera consistently, because for me, my first film was very overwhelming, like having to answer everyone. So we had two acting coaches, a guy called Toby Clark and another guy called Andy Wymet, who really helped teach them about technique and help them to play the whole time. And yeah, that's where you get their performances, because I think they felt really trusted and comfortable in the space, because ultimately they're also kids, and we just wanted them to enjoy the process of making a film.
That's so cool, and it's. I think it was definitely worth it. All this process.
Thank you so much.
And also, if you hadn't told me that this was your first movie, your cinematographer's first film, I don't know if I would have guessed, because I think that you're so confident on the way that you brought this story together.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, it was like it's one of my favorite movies here. That I saw
amazing! Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right.
Oh wow. Okay. Two of my favorite movies. One is Shoplifters by Korida, Japanese director. It's my favorite director. One of my favorite directors. I think that movie is about the working man, or even about the sort of in some aspects, the difficulty of a working man to survive in a nation that always aspires to success and always wants to show you success. I think Shoplifters is about a dysfunctional family. It's the children at the heart of it. It's a complex story, and I really love it. Another film is another one of my favorite directors, Ousmane Sembene. He's from Senegal. It's called Moulade, which is basically a film about female genital mutilation. It seems like quite a strong theme, but it's basically about how a very rural African village came together to protect their girls and say that they don't want their girls to have to go through this experience anymore. And it's a real testament to like matriarchy and mythology, and it's such a fantastic film that it just really inspired me when I watched it, because it's so far ahead of its time. The third film is a hard one, but I'm going to go for something probably aesthetically driven. I would say a film called Belly by Hype Williams. And basically, the reason I choose that film is because the way it photographs black skin is the most seductive capacity I've ever seen in a film. I think like films like Moonlight and Selma and Clockers by Spike Lee and all Spike Lee's early films actually reference Belly. But I think if you ever watch this film, it's just so beautiful. I know so many directors who it's like our North Star in how we want to light black skin, because it's just so seductive. So I'd probably say those three films, yeah.